are three recession-proof stocks that people can invest in to protect themselves from the downturn?
I know everyone is so concerned about if the market continues to collapse, but I think it's a few companies that will do well regardless. In the retail space, Costco, I love dearly, near and dear to my heart. Almost immovable regardless of what happens in the economy. Number two, Nvidia. Love you guys dearly. Thank you. We'll never switch up on you. From the bottom of my heart. And Troy, your baby, I gotta give you credit. TSM. I keep saying that if TSM was primarily in America, headquartered in America,
we getting closer.
I would have been divorced you.
We're getting closer. It's getting closer to being an American. Yeah. Every day.
Yes. So those are my three.
This is it's an interesting question. Because if you look at the history, have we been in a recession before? We saw a brief one. And so what were the companies that thrived there? I'm glad you brought up the retail space. You brought up Costco because a lot of people would think Walmart. But it makes me think that one of my other ones, like TSM was my favorite. I think Amazon would probably be like 1B. Amazon would be one of those companies that I would definitely look in terms of, can they still thrive in that environment? And for sure. Right, we're 5 years removed from COVID, and we remember what our life was like when we just had to use Amazon.
Yeah.
And we were able to get everything. Right. And that's just from a retail space. But obviously what they can do inside the pharmaceutical space, they just, again, I mean, the branches under that tree of Amazon is just so vast that I think they thrive in any environment. P&G is another one. We're always going to need home items. It's one of those ones that's not sexy, but it's a stable company that has shown growth throughout the years. And I would put Netflix in there too. I think that would be my third.
Yeah. If it was cheaper, I would have mentioned it, but for sure, Netflix is Netflix the best subscription run business consumer facing ever? Like their numbers are insane.
Them and Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as a singular product, that's the singular product, them.
Yeah.
Apple is kind of like the product is the phone, and the subscription services just kind of get added on. But yeah, Netflix and the room for growth is there, right? You talk about from a global capacity, there's still countries that they haven't reached.
For sure. It's a lot of addressable markets they have not tapped into yet. And, if they get into allegedly podcasting and the streaming wars of content creators.
Yeah. And the CEO said they're doubling down on the spending. I know that used to be, how are they going to generate revenue from the original content space? Well, they've showed you. They've moved into live events. Now they're going to double down on more original content. So,
yeah,
scaling looks likely for them.
How you feel about Oscar?
I thought this was a great question, and I wanted to take some stocks that we have not talked about before. I see what you may see in the potential of this company, but I got to be very clear. As of right now, I hate it. All-time high, $35 in 2021. It's currently at $13. If you can get it at $3 or $4, I would not mind you swing trading it back up to 10 or 11. But as a long-term hold, this is a definite no. You can argue Hims, Hers, Lilly, of course, are much better. And then companies that are tech, health adjacent, Amazon, Apple, Novo are way better. I don't think Oscar's in the top 25. So for a long-term hold, no. If it's a trade, if you get it at $3 or $4 and route it up to 11, I'm good with that. But as a long-term hold, this is a definite no.
Yeah, it's in a tough spot. It's for those who are not in the know, it's a leading healthcare technology company, and they operate individual healthcare insurance markets through the Affordable Care Act, which was Obamacare, which an administration that has now changed. And one of the campaign promises was, we're going to get rid of that, even though there was no plan really laid out to how to get rid of it. What we've seen is in the first, we haven't hit 100 days yet, but the things that he said he was going to do, like he's doing them.
Oh, he's chipping at anything Barack did.
Everything he said he's going to do, he's doing it. In fact, his approval rating is at its all-time high. NBC just put that out last night, that his approval rating
Who's the approval rating?
Donnie.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, huh? But yeah,
Imagine if you actually get some shit done. Wow. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So I don't think Oscar is in a good spot.
No. And they only reported $25 million net income. Like Soldier Boy should not have as much money as your investment in your portfolio. I'm good. Shots to Big Soldier. But no, I'm good on
Yeah,
Oscar.
we're gonna stay
Tim
away from this one.
Hers, Lily, Novo, there's a bunch of others you can invest in that are a hell of a lot better.